Good morning. Namaste. Thank you so much for being here today. Adjust this slightly. Welcome to Yoga on the Mats. We are going to be doing, this is Ursa. We're going to be taking a nice restorative time during our class today. So we'll be focusing on restorative postures, and I will also be building in towards the end a little body scan meditation. And just wanted to briefly share a little bit about restorative yoga, why I selected it for today's class, and what it represents in this moment for me. So I wore my Installing Muscles t-shirt or sweatshirt, one because it's one of my favorite things in the world, but also because for me, it's an excellent visualization of or remembering of what we're doing during the restorative yoga time. And for a lot of us, we go throughout the day and whether we're just going throughout our day, walking about, running, etc., bending over, lifting, or if you actively work out or engage in a sport, you're using your muscles, and a lot of times we're using them in a repetitive way or in a really structured way. And we build muscles, strengthen our body. What restorative allows us to do is to tap into the connected tissue, the fascia system, a lot of times for me, the nervous system, and I will even start feeling things in the emotional body releasing. But it's taking the time, you've done all the work, you're uploading the document, and now you're installing it into your body. And you're doing that through the connective tissue that allows you to grow, that allows you to integrate, that allows you to take it with you. And so this becomes a really important part of the recovery system, but also just like maintaining a healthy body and a healthy system. So I love restorative yoga. It is one of my favorite things to do. And I just wanted to share that with our base camp team, we just went through a really amazing series of clinics with Woody's Professor Octavio. And there was a tremendous amount of knowledge passed forward. We worked with our bodies a lot. And it was, being in the presence of someone who's mastered their craft. And so to fully engage in that experience, I think that doing the restorative process is allowing us to deeply integrate everything we've learned, whether you're out in the world or you were in an intensive learning environment like we were. Restorative yoga allows you to integrate that into your body and to take it with you so you can grow from it. So that's what we will be doing today. We use props in restorative yoga, so I'll take you through those briefly. And I've also brought some modifications. So this is a yoga bolster. It's kind of one of our pillars for a lot of restorative classes. You can also use a large pillow, and you can do various things with it to achieve the posture. Yoga blocks, a modification for this, a large book, a container like a Tupperware container can be used as well for some of the gentler postures. When we're using it to bear our weight, we'll want to use something more like a book. And then just blankets, anything to get cozy to sit on. So we're going to begin seated. So if you can, I've stacked a couple blankets up here, or you can sit on a pillow, something to elevate the hips over the knees. We're going to sit and we're going to do a breathing technique to open up, and then we'll be starting laying in a savasana. So we'll gently progress down to the floor. So gathering your props, get situated on your mat. Legs can be crossed, or you can be in a hero's pose on your knees, sitting on your heels. Just begin to settle into your body, into your space. Allowing everything around you to drown out any noise, any activities in the house. Everything begins to fade into the distance. And you become aware of you on your mat in this moment. Feeling into your legs, where your body meets the earth. Feeling into the sits bones. Feeling where the pelvic bowl meets the floor. Identifying your root. This is where we connect into the earth. Think about this like connecting your computer cord, your laptop cord, your phone cord into the wall. We're recharging here, so plugging ourselves down through the root into the earth. Imagining that cord going deep down into the earth center. Plugging in, recharging, giving life. And then following that cord back up to the body, placing the weight equal. Finding that center point in the root. Strong foundation. We're going to build out from there. Feeling into the legs, the feet, where they meet the floor. Becoming heavy here. Imagine the legs filling up with sand. Strong foundation here. 360 degrees all the way back. The buttocks, the hips becoming heavy. Centering yourself in your foundation. And then begin lifting the spine, aligning the spine. I tend to sink down into my lower vertebrae, so just really rising up, engaging the lower abdomen slightly. Stacking the vertebrae one on top of the other, finding length. We're growing from this strong foundation, so when we're deeply rooted in through the legs, down through the earth, we can root and rise up the spine, bringing that life force up the spine, up through the clavicle, the sternum. Begin opening the shoulders, rolling them back. Shoulder blades come towards the spine and melt down the back, relaxing the shoulders down. And then lengthening through the neck, relaxing the jaw, relax the cheekbones, the forehead, third eye, up through the crown, lengthening through the crown. Noticing your arms here. Want them slightly engaged, but relaxing down, hands on the knees. And just begin to breathe here. We've been breathing all along, but bringing awareness now to the breath. Noticing where you feel the breath in the body. See if you can bring your awareness down to the root and begin breathing up the body through the root. So inhale from the root, up the legs. Feel the breath move through the legs, the hips, the stomach, the chest, up the neck, the throat, up through the brain, out the crown. And then on the exhale, bringing the breath back down the body through the crown, down the forehead, the neck, the throat, the chest, down through the stomach, down the hips, thighs, knees, ankles, and down into the earth. Doing that again, inhaling up, full body breath up through the body. Feeling the entire body nourished with the breath, the life force, the prana. Exhaling down through the body like a wave, cleansing, releasing, taking with it any stagnant energy, any stuck emotion, releasing it down into the earth. At your own pace, full body breath, inhale up through the root. You can feel the breath move up the body like an elevator, all the way up through the crown. When it reaches that top floor, exhaling, bringing the elevator back down the body. Cleansing, supporting, becoming aware of where your body is at today. Continue to breathe at your own pace. Tuning yourself to where you're at today, noticing anything your body is trying to tell you. Good, and from this place, we're going to transition to lying on our backs into a savasana. If you have a pillow or bolster handy, go ahead and bring that to your side. We really want to maintain the full breath cycle as we move. So your gestures might be smaller. You may move a little slower as we work to maintain the breath as we transition to the floor. You can support your head with a pillow if you'd like. And just a traditional savasana here, lying back, heels together, toes fall open, arms down by our side, palms face up. And once you've found the position of comfort, reconnecting with that full body breath. So before we were breathing up through the root at the pelvic bowl, now we'll be breathing up through the feet, soles of the feet. Imagine the breath coming up through the soles of the feet, the shins, the thighs, the hips, into the belly, the chest, the throat, up through the head, and then exhaling down like a wave, going back to sea, washing down through the body, down the legs, out the feet to the earth. Inhale. Inhale the cleansing breath, the prana, life force washing over you. Exhale down the body, through the hips, out the legs. We're going to be here for several minutes, focusing on the breath, connecting with the breath here, and allowing the breath to restore the body. The sound of the chime, coming back into the room, staying connected with the breath. We're going to transition now. Bless me. Bless me. Into floor spine twist. So bringing the knees up towards the belly. You can create a grip with the fingers, rolling the back against the floor, right and left, right and left. Then bring your knees to a 90-degree angle, arms come out wide. If you want a block or a pillow to support you, you can grab that now. We're gonna rotate our legs down towards the ground, right side, floor spine twist. Once again, if this stretches too much for you, if you need some support, elevate the floor to you using blankets, bolsters, props, making it comfortable for you while maintaining your breath. The wave of the breath stays with us through the transition. It becomes a part of the process. The postures are not these silo, isolated things. We transition to them and we take the breath with us. Here, opening the right side of the body, the right hip. Excuse me. Left side of the body, left hip. Shoulders stay anchored on the mat. Arms stretch open. And begin the breath up through the feet, up through the root, up the body, like a wave. Exhale down. At any point, if your mind begins to wander, just bringing yourself back to the breath. And also adjust your posture. Can remove the props, deepening the stretch as you continue to work with the breath. With the sound of the chime coming back to the room, preparing for transition. Bringing the knees gently back to center, supporting yourself through the transition on the inhale. Exhale, you can bring your arms up, wrapping your knees towards the belly. Rolling back and forth slightly if that feels right for you. Take a nice inhale and exhale breath here. And then with the breath in the transition, you can bring your props over for the other side, left side. Be opening the right side of the body here. So when you're ready, legs come out to a 90-degree angle, arms spread out wide, and support yourself, bringing the knees down, opposite side. Can elevate the floor, bringing the floor to you with the props. As much or as little as needed. Can also feel good sometimes to cover yourself with a blanket, allowing yourself to just relax even more deeply into the posture. We're balancing comfort and opening here. Connecting with the breath, inhaling up through the body. Exhaling down. If your mind begins to wander, just gently bring it back to the breath. Opening up the connective tissues can oftentimes release emotions or memories that have been stored there. So just allowing whatever's coming up for you to be. Place yourself in that observer seat, just noticing and inviting the breath to move whatever is coming up from you whenever it's ready. Feeling opening through the left side, the left hip. For you, it might be the right side, right hip. With the sound of the chime, coming back to the room. When you're ready, releasing the legs up towards the belly. You can take the grip with the hands, rolling back and forth. Good, and then taking a nice inhale and exhale here. You can do one of two things here. You can roll to the right side, go to a fetal position, and then push yourself up, or you can also begin to rock yourself front to back along the mat until eventually you roll up into a seated position. Connecting with the breath here. Rooting down if you feel any sense of lightheadedness, dizziness. Just regrounding yourself, finding that firm foundation. Elongating the spine and taking just a couple of breaths here to reset. Good, and then once again transitioning with awareness. So taking the breath with you. We're going to set up for our next posture. And we'll be here for a while, so take your time, get what you need, gather up the props that you need. I have a thicker bolster, so I'm going to have a blanket underneath my butt to raise it up slightly. You're going to want a bolster or a big pillow here. Body pillow, bolster. We're going to use our yoga blocks to create a little bit of a wall here. And you can select the height. So the lowest height being here, middle, and then the tallest height. And that's going to determine your elevation. So some type of support here. You might stack pillows or books if you don't have blocks. That's fine. And then we're setting up the bolster at an angle, making sure everything feels steady for you. We're going to be placing the low back sacrum area up against the bolster. So low back and bolster meet here. There's a couple of options here for your legs. So first of all, just getting comfortable, feeling secure. You can lie back slightly, just to make sure everything feels right. Doing a little test check here. We're going to be lying back, rotating the shoulders back, opening the chest. This is going to be a chest opener. For the legs, you can do a couple of things. You can bring them into lotus pose. If that's going to be difficult for you to maintain, certainly select another more relaxing option. You can have butterfly legs or bound angle here, bringing in additional pillows or blocks to support you. You can roll a blanket to support the legs falling open here. Okay. You can also extend the legs, which is the selection I'm going to make. I'm going to extend the legs so that I can really feel that full body breath all the way up the legs. And if you'd like, you can place a blanket or bolster underneath the knees for support. So here we're making a nice natural incline with all the major joints of the body. And then on an exhale, rolling back, lengthening the spine across the body pillow or bolster. And then you can take the hands on the chest, and on the exhale, just melting them down, this gentle touch along the pectoral muscles, along the clavicle, just inviting that to relax and release, and then allowing the arms to fall open here. For some, this may feel like an intense heart-chest opening, so it's important that you connect with the breath. So starting at the feet, elongating through the legs, allowing the feet to fall open and relax, finding a restorative position, managing that balance of comfort and opening. Begin to breathe up through the feet, through the legs, up the hips, up through the abdomen, the torso, up the throat, out the head. And then allowing the breath to wash back down you like a wave. Exhaling down through the legs and out the feet. And then bringing that breath back in. This is an excellent posture if you regularly sit at a computer or hunch over in any way. It's a counteraction towards that hunching over that we do so often. Beautiful supportive posture for the spine, for the shoulder girdle. Just allow the opening to happen here. Noticing if anything's coming up for you here. Meeting everything with love, curiosity, and inviting the breath into whatever is coming up for you here. With the sound of the chime, we'll transition, coming back to the room. Bring awareness to the feet and the arms. We're not going to transition far, so maintaining the breath on the inhale. Use your hands to support you. We're just going to come back up to a seated position. You can take a staff pose here while I prompt the next posture, or just a nice seated position. We're going to stay here in this general posture, but we're going to do a little bit of a spine twist. We allowed the floor spine twist to prepare us and open us for this spine twist. So taking your legs, you're going to bring your knees towards the left side of the body or the room, coming into a mermaid posture. So you're going to be sitting on the left hip, and you adjust the body so that the left hip and the bolster meet. Knees are not stacked on top of each other. The right knee falls down to the floor, and so your feet make a little bit of a crisscross behind you. And then depending on how much space available you have, you may need to elevate your hips even more if you're having trouble bringing the knee to the floor. Just elevate your hips more with blankets or pillows. And then bringing left hip in line with the bolster. From here, on an inhale breath, we're going to inhale up. Begin twisting the torso. Left hand comes on one side of the bolster. The right hand will come on the other side of the bolster. And I want you to think about placing your chest onto the bolster. So you can adjust and pivot down here at the bottom to make that possible for your structure, for your flexibility. So here I am, almost ready to dive in to the bolster from here. Okay. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, begin folding your body, the front side of your body over the bolster. You're going to feel a slight twist through the low back, middle spine, and then for the upper spine, you have a couple of options here. Depending on your range of motion, we complete the twist by bringing the right ear to the bolster, full neck twist up to the top of the head. You can use books or blocks to support your arms if you need to. If not, arms just weigh heavy, draping to the floor. If the neck stretches too much for you, you can place your left ear onto the bolster. You also have the option of forehead. I find that a little less comfortable. So either full extension of the twist or placing the left ear onto the bolster, and begin to breathe. See if you can feel the breath as it swirls up the spine in the twist. Allowing yourself to relax deeply here. Inhale up. Exhale out any tension, dis-ease, any discomfort, let it go. Imagine you're wringing out the spine, cleansing any toxins, any stagnant energy. Checking in with the shoulders, especially if you have the full neck twist. Just inviting them to relax down the body. Allowing for deeper opening through the neck. With the sound of the chime, we'll come back to the room, preparing ourselves for transition. Bring awareness to the fingertips, to the toes. Place your palms flat on the mat. Lift the body up slightly on an inhale and begin to unwrap yourself from the twist, starting with the neck. We're going to come back all the way back around to a seated position, neutral spine, low back against the bolster. This is our reset point, so you can come into a cross-legged seated position, or if you prefer, staff pose, legs extended, arms reach down to the floor. We'll take a couple of breaths here. Reconnecting with the root, your connection to the earth. Good. Making any adjustments to your setup that you might want. And then when you're ready, on the next inhale, we're going to begin to shift ourselves to the opposite side. For me, that's the right side, coming on to right hip, bringing right hip in line with the bolster. Now you can see the mermaid legs from the back side. So left leg meets the floor. It's lower plane than the right leg. And then the right leg toes can flop over the left ankle if that feels good for you. If you're having trouble bringing the knees down to the floor, you can elevate the hips higher with another blanket. And then from here, finding your twist. So inhale up, elongating the spine, twist, bringing the right hand down to the floor on one side of the bolster, left hand on the floor on the other side. Here is not comfortable for me, so I'm going to adjust my legs a little more, allowing the front of my body to open up to the bolster. Another deep inhale breath, elongate the spine, and bringing the front body down onto the bolster. From here, to complete the twist through the neck, I'm going to bring my left ear to the bolster, relaxing the shoulders down the back, allowing the arms to weigh heavy. If this neck stretch is too intense, you can bring the right ear to the bolster. Neutral spine through the neck, or twisting all the way through. Allow the arms to weigh heavy. Once again, you can cover yourself with a blanket, doing anything to make yourself feel deeply relaxed. Then begin breathing up the legs, up the body, like a wave. So again, these postures can be deeply cleansing. They can release a lot of emotions, stuck energy. So just allowing the breath to facilitate transformation, the releasing of these things. Really embracing the observer position, just noticing what's coming up and allowing the breath to do its work. allowing the sound of the chime to bring you back to the room, preparing for transition. Feel into your fingers and toes. And planting the hands onto the floor, you're going to lift your body slightly on an inhale. Then begin walking your right hand forward, left hand forward, coming out of the twist. We'll meet back in center here. So again, you can take a seated cross-legged posture or a staff pose here, reconnecting with the root to the ground. Building the spine, stacking the spine, a couple of inhales and exhales here. Inhale up. Exhale down through the body. Inhale up. Exhale down. I like to think of the inhale kind of like a net coming up through my body, catching anything that needs to release, and then allowing the exhale to take it out through the feet. You can imagine it going into the ocean, into the earth. So one more time, inhale up. Gathering everything that's ready to release, exhale down through the body and let it go. Good. We'll transition now to legs up the wall. If you have a wall nearby, I'll take you through how to get yourself into the posture. Otherwise, you can absolutely do it without a wall. We'll walk through both scenarios. You may want a blanket for this posture, either underneath the head at a very low level, just a little bit of neck support, or you may want it underneath the low back. I'm going to use this as a wall. So, finding what's comfortable for you, but I'm going to show it from this direction. So, bringing the hip either side up against the surface where you're going to have your legs up the wall or the couch or whatever it is. Arms come back behind you to support. On an inhale, bringing the legs up and over, and you just kind of roll onto your back, shifting. So now you can see my butt is flat against this surface. Legs can extend up with ease. It's up to you here. You can have active engagement through the feet. Some people like to have a yoga strap here. Or you can just allow the legs to relax. We're reversing the blood flow here. Very cleansing for the entire system, but for the legs. If you don't have a surface here, you're just going to lie on your back. You can place a blanket underneath your hips to help support you in keeping the legs up in the air. And then arms can be folded over your chest. You can have them down by your sides, palm face up. And then just begin to breathe. Breathing into the legs, encouraging blood flow, encouraging new oxygen up the legs, down the legs, through the hips, really cleansing the legs here with the breath. If it feels good for you, you can place one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest. Kind of bringing yourself into your vessel a little more, grounding yourself through the body, through this connection. Option here, you can bring heels together. Ankles begin to drop down the surface of the wall towards the groin, opening yourself up into like a butterfly leg here, bound angle. Dropping more weight into the hips. Hips come closer to the ground, increasing the stretch and the openness of the hips. Another option, if you choose to take it, bringing the feet flat to the wall or by bringing the knees towards the stomach. You can slowly, with control, if it's in your practice, bring yourself into a plow pose. Hands come underneath the hips, legs extend forward. You can have feet all the way up to pointed up to the sky or drop them down. Toes touch the floor behind you. Maintaining the breath no matter where you're at today. These last few moments, breathe deep into those hip creases, along the low back where the hip and low back sacrum meet, all the way down under by the groin and up, top of the hip where the hips face forward. Really inviting the breath into this space. Inviting opening and movement here. Even when we're still, there's always a subtle movement happening. And the breath allows us to bring more awareness there and really tap into these subtle gestures and adjustments our body makes. The next inhale breath, if your legs are down in butterfly or bound angle, you can extend them up. Coming out of plow, if that's a choice that you made. Extending the legs up the wall or up into the sky. And then we're going to bring them down to a 90-degree angle and gently rolling over to the right side, come into a fetal position. And you have a choice here. We're going to be going into our Savasana, so you can push yourself up with your hand and begin bringing yourself into Savasana. Once again, gathering the props that feel good for you here. If you want to cover yourself with a blanket, maybe you want to bolster underneath the knees in a supported Savasana today. So gathering up what feels right for you. Or if you're in a place where you can just transition from the ground, from your legs up the wall, you can go ahead and do that now as well. Maintaining the breath through the transition. You can cover yourself with a blanket, or if you have an eye pillow, that might feel good. We're going to be going through a body scan here. But just allow yourself to submit to the Savasana, letting everything go, embracing the stillness here. We'll take one inhale up through the feet, up the body together. Inhale all the way up through the feet, the legs, the hips, up the belly, through the throat and the head. Exhale out to wash down through the crown, down the front of the face, the chest, front of the belly, down through the hips, the quads, down the knees, the shins, out the feet. Taking a couple full body breaths at your own pace as you settle into your Savasana here. Once you're settled here, bringing your awareness to your left big toe. Taking a moment to honor all that the foot does for us, that left big toe. Deeply important to our balance, our overall mobility. And expressing gratitude for something as simple as our left big toe, and just feeling that in the body. Feeling that gratitude, appreciation for yourself, for this beautiful body that takes you throughout the world. See now if you can bring that awareness to a pinpoint at the top of the left big toe. Imagine focusing in like a laser pointer to the top of the left big toe, and then allowing that awareness to transition, shining that awareness onto the second toe of the left foot. See now if you can feel it in the third toe of the left foot. And the fourth toe of the left foot. And the pinky toe of the left foot. Bringing that awareness now to the pads of the feet on the left foot. Feeling the awareness expand into the foot chakra of the left foot, the heel of the foot, the center of the foot where the root of the ankle meets. And feeling into the heel of the left foot, up the Achilles tendon, embracing 360 degrees, the ankle, where the foot and the ankle join in your awareness, and then allow that to spread up the shins, up the lower leg, the calf, all the way up, filling the lower leg vessel as if your awareness was water, just filling it up, nourishing. Allowing this awareness to be an expression of your gratitude and love. And allow it to extend into the left knee, the front and the back of the left knee, feeling full now with your awareness as it spreads up. Left thigh, feeling the quadriceps engage, the hamstrings engage with your awareness, bringing attention here, bringing gratitude here. Allow it to extend up the left hip, fully embracing the entire hip joint. the pelvic bowl, the pelvis, front and back. All the way over to the low back, the sacrum. Feeling the pelvis, the lower abdomen engage here with your awareness. It's not an engagement of the muscle, it's the consciousness there that we're engaging. And then following this spinal cord up will allow the awareness to fill the pelvic bowl like a lake, filling with water, with our awareness, coming up towards the belly button, feeling it all the way 360 degrees up the low back, through the sacrum, up to the lower abdominal muscles, following it up the vertebrae of the spine, filling this abdominal cavity, front, back, left, right, 360 degrees, filling with your awareness. Feel it now. Feel it in the right hip. Feel it as it comes all the way up the right side of the abdomen, right side of low back. All of this engaging here with your awareness, filling up, reaching the low rib cage all the way up. This awareness washing over the skeletal structure of the rib cage, in between the ribs, in front of the ribs, behind the ribs, up the sternum, up the vertebrae of the back, all the way up till we reach the shoulder girdle along the back side, the collarbone, allowing the awareness to spread and extend across the shoulder blades, the scapula all the way down the lower or to the upper arms, the biceps, triceps, down, filling the elbows, the forearms all the way down to the wrists, feeling your awareness through the pinky finger, the fourth finger, the third finger, the second finger, and the thumb. And then bringing that awareness all the way back up the arms, through the elbows, the biceps, up the shoulders, and now up, filling the neck cavity where the shoulder girdle and the neck meet, the traps engaging here with your awareness, the neck, front and back of neck, allowing this awareness to release any tension in the neck. Taking a moment to breathe here. Releasing the throat, bringing awareness to the throat, the jaw, the mandible where the jaw connects behind the cheeks. Releasing any tension here, bringing awareness, gratitude and thanks for all that the jaw does to support us, to chew and digest the nourishing food that we take in. And then allowing this awareness to spread up the nose, the tip of the nose, up the nose, all the way to the third eye, coming around the forehead, the back of the skull, engaging through the third eye, the pineal gland activating here with your awareness. Supporting the brain, covering the brain, expressing gratitude for the brain, the skull that houses the brain, and then all the way up the tip of the top of your head to the crown. Basking in the wonderful feeling that is having and holding your body in awareness and gratitude. And you can just imagine a gratitude, like an egg of gratitude over your crown, and just crack it on the crown and allow the yolk to wash over you. That gratitude's coming down, melting down the back of the skull, front of the forehead, melting down to the neck now, down the shoulders, back down through the chest cavity, back down the stomach, and bringing that awareness now back into the pelvic bowl, the root, and bringing it over to the right hip joint, the pelvis on the right side, the low right back, anchoring your awareness here. Feel it as it fills this cavity, 360 degrees. Feel where the groin and the leg meet, all the connected tissue here. And now bringing your awareness down into the right thigh, the right quadricep, the right hamstring, down to the right knee, filling the knee 360 degrees, front and back of knee. Coming down into the lower leg, the shin, the calf, down into the ankle, following down the Achilles tendon on the right side, noticing where the ankle and the foot meet. Sending the awareness into the right heel here. Feeling that awareness spread to the right foot chakra, bridge of the foot, and then down into the pads at the top of the foot, right side. Coming into the pinky toe of the right foot, the fourth toe of the right foot, third toe of the right foot, second toe of the right foot. Then bringing that awareness to the big toe of the right foot. Taking a moment to think of all that the right toe, big toe does for us. Expressing gratitude for the right big toe. Bringing that awareness to a pinpoint, the top of the right big toe. And then allowing imagine just a little snip of the cord from your awareness, that right big toe, releasing it here. And allowing that awareness to bask over the entire body now. As you relax into your final Savasana here. Allow the mind to come to stillness, the breath to regulate, and just bask in the warmth of that feeling of acknowledging all the different parts of the body, expressing gratitude for the body, and now allowing the body to rest in Savasana. I want to thank you for being here today. You can stay in Savasana as long as you would like. I'm going to close us with the sound of Om. I love you. I'm grateful for you. The light in me honors and acknowledges the light in you. Namaste.